Here we are now for the second season, the premiere of a very, we're going to call it an impact series for not only our community, nuestra comunidad latina y chicana, also for the TV fanfare in general.
Yeah.
Coming up with a great series. And we're speaking with Mishel Prada. She's one of the leading actresses in the series. And Michelle, ¿cómo estás?
Hi, estoy so emocionada. I'm so excited. We're getting so close, and we've been holding on to this for so long, and we've just seen the first few episodes, and it's so special. You're building the house from the inside out, and you're putting the pieces together, and then you wonder, what does this look like on the outside? And then you get to see it, and it's something so special because every piece, we get to kind of push it over the line, but every piece that creates this story, from the writers and the directors and Tanya Saracho, the showrunner, but then also just a reflection of the communities and our grandparents and the women and people that came before us. All of that is here. So that's it's really special.
And this comes at a very timely moment here in the production world of not only cinema and TV. They go hand in hand because now we're able to see our stories coming forward, played by, of course, actors in the appropriate roles from the appropriate culture and backgrounds and ethnicity. So this is really giving our folks here in East LA and beyond, Boyle Heights here, of course, where the series takes place, but it's giving some recognition and some well-deserved recognition for not only actors and actresses, but the line staff, the technical staff. But this is a huge production, and we understand it's going to be very, very well taken care of by Lionsgate, and of course Stars, where the viewers can watch it. But talk about the first season, if you will, Michelle, how that was so successful and it rolled into season 2.
Well, when we were on set, we shot the whole first season in, I want to say it was a month and a half. So it felt like it zipped by. And we really felt a spark on set, but you're thinking, okay, I think this is cool, but are other people going to think it's cool? And I think when you're doing something specifically to please a mass audience, you lose. It makes it easy to lose some of the authenticity, to lose some of what your heart is. But when you're making something that you feel is true to each other, and we were all on set creating this the right way. I mean, Tanya brought in an all Latinx writers' room, and the Latina directors for season 2 and all Latin directors for season 1. It's exciting to see it resonate, because all you do is the best that you can. You show up and you do the best that you can, and whether it does well or not, if you know you did the best that you can, then that's that. And it is such a beautiful thing to see people hear their stories told back to them while we're telling ours.
And we're speaking, of course, for our viewers, if you're just joining us now, this is Vida, V-I-D-A, life, but she's the mother, was your mother in the series, and that is where it all starts. And just a tremendous beginning to the series, and now we just can't wait. We're almost like a Game of Thrones in our community. I'll say for us, of course, but the expectancy of seeing more of our culture, some of our attitudinal behaviors in our culture, how things are going with the community, how things are going with things regarding social issues. They're going to be put forth here in the series.
Yeah, I think season 1 was short, and I know a lot of people when it ended, they kind of went for the next one, and it just wasn't there. And that was cool because it just made you want more. And Stars was wonderful to give us 4 more episodes this season to get to flesh out this world. And we get to know the personas that each of these characters put forth, and showing that there's not one way to be Latina. And we see all of these faces that they've put on, cáscaras. And then in season 2, we see them really trying to kind of fall more into their heart and more of just being true and being more vulnerable with each other. But it's not easy for any of them because they've spent so much time creating these personas, the way that they present the world, the way that they've been accepted in the world. And then when they attempt to come back and be vulnerable and going back to this community, and yet the community doesn't accept them. So then they've worked so hard to be accepted into this dominant culture. What does that mean? And what does that mean for the community? Because there's no real right or wrong. Well, I feel like Nelson's the only one that's wrong. We can agree with that. But besides that, I think each character really has a very point of view, and you can almost understand where they're coming from even if you don't like it. And I think that's the way it is in life, and it's good to see that, and it's a good conversation to have that's being played by each of these characters.
And I do believe, because it depicts a daily life in the barrio here in Boyle Heights, the reality factor is very high because people can identify, then self-identify as well, that, hey, that's where I grew up, or that's part of my family. We lived there for years and years, and now here's a story, very timely, that's coming back, and people can really, really get into that and go with the characters, and you're becoming very, very fond to the viewers.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Tanya really was committed in showing this neighborhood in a loving way, in the crumbles, in the cracks in the sidewalk, and just the parts that maybe aren't completely polished, finding the beauty in all of that. And I know sometimes, especially, I think when you're young, you want to outgrow something. You're like, I'm better than this, or you know what, I want to move forward, I want to move away from it. And there definitely comes a point where you can look back, and there's this idea of nostalgia and this reality of it, where you can look back and be like, wow, this actually is a part of me, and it's not something worth letting go. You bring it all with you, and you heal it, and it's all a part of that. So it's, I think that we have seen our communities so often being portrayed, especially a neighborhood like Boyle Heights. There's gangs, there's violence, there's all of these things. But it's, and that does happen. But most days it doesn't. And most days it's just families trying to come together and figure out what's going on and find love and, all that stuff. So it's great to show that part.
And a big attraction in season 2, we will see Raul Castillo.
I know. El Chicano. Yes, I mean Raul is just such a little gem to work with, and he's so wonderful, and his relationship with Tanya goes far and beyond anything that we've experienced on the show. So he really is magnificent, and I feel like the luckiest girl in the world to get to work with him.
Well, the series 2 will come on Sunday, correct? On Stars.
I know. Yes. Gosh, we've been holding on to it for so long, and it's crazy. But I'm excited for the world to see it, and just I really in my heart, I know that people are going to love it. And even if there's parts that they don't like, it's going to create a conversation. And that's what needs to happen. We need to be talking amongst each other and creating a conversation.
Mishel, we have to let you go. You're going to be interviewed by some other media this year, but we want to thank you for giving us this time. I'm representing MUSE TV, and this is East LA Sports Scene. Last words here for our viewers, or your viewers.
Yeah.
About the kickoff here on Sunday.
Well, I'm May 23rd. All of the episodes drop on the app, Stars app, and that is rare for Stars because normally they do them one episode at a time. So that's a really beautiful treat I think that they've given us. And get the app; it's worth it. It's less than the price of a ticket to the movie theater, and then just write to us on social media, engage with us because we love hearing from you, and we will respond back in any way that we can because we're so excited for you guys to see it.
Muchas gracias, Mishel Prada, and buena suerte. And we will be watching you.
Gracias.